As the band enters the parade deck, we ask that you refrain from crossing in the parade deck or crossing in front of the reviewing area. If you must cross, please go to the far ends. Once you have reached the seating area, we ask that you remain seated, keeping the area directly in front of the bleachers clear. Feel free to take photographs and videos from anywhere in the seating area. We ask that you silence all electronic devices. Please look around you and do not leave any trash. At the conclusion of today's ceremony, we ask that you exit the parade deck behind the bleachers. Thank you. Officially formed in 1921, Marine Band San Diego has thrilled countless millions throughout the world with its inspiring renditions of traditional and contemporary music. Each member of the band has completed recruit training and maintains combat skills, giving true meaning to the title Marine Musicians. Marine Band San Diego is under the leadership of Chief 1 Officer 2 Randall Metzinger, Band Officer, and Master Sergeant Frederick Kern, Bandmaster. Today, the band is led on the march by the Drum Major Sergeant Martin Palacios and is under the direction of the enlisted conductor, Gunnery Sergeant Ben Hallquist. The pre-parade serenade was provided by Marine Band San Diego, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. The Marine Corps has played an active role in San Diego history ever since the Marines from the sloop of war Cyan seized Old Town during the Mexican-American War in 1846. Marines have been stationed at the Recruit Depot since 1921, when most of the buildings to your front were constructed. These buildings, known as the Arcade, were designed by world-famous architect Bertram Goodhue. The Arcade is among 25 buildings that have qualified for inclusion on the National Register of Historic Places and are outstanding examples of Spanish colonial revival architecture. Since 1923, more than 1 million Marines have completed their recruit training here at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, and since 1915 at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island in South Carolina. Regardless of where a Marine attended boot camp, you can rest assured that they received the toughest, most physically and mentally demanding recruit training offered anywhere in the world. Some individual techniques and methods may have evolved over the years, but the focus and adherence to our core values of honor, courage, and commitment are as strong today as any time in our history. Today, the Marines of Company C accept the responsibilities to safeguard this proud tradition as they step forward to join this rich heritage. Ahead of them lie bright futures that will no doubt add to the proud Marine legacy that they now rightfully claim as their own. Private Bruno is a 10-month-old, full-blooded English Bulldog born in Fallbrook, California on October 22, 2022. He is named after Major General Bruno Hochmuth, who at the time of his death was the first Major General killed during the Vietnam War. Major General Hochmuth was also the commanding general of the depot from November 1963 to February of 1967. General Hochmuth was awarded the Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit with Combat V for Valor, the Navy Commendation Medal with Gold Star in lieu of Third Award, and the Purple Heart with Gold Star in lieu of Third Award. Private Bruno continues the tradition of a long line of Marine Corps Bulldog mascots dating back to 1921, when Brigadier General Smedley Butler appointed Sergeant Major Jiggs as the first Bulldog mascot for Marine Corps Barracks, Quantico. Private Bruno is being escorted by the Office of Communication Strategy and Operations, Corporal Joshua M. Dreher. Spiritual development plays an important part in the making of a United States Marine. Lieutenant Amy Ruth Bryan, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, will deliver the graduation prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Let us pray. Holy One, on this day of great celebration, we give you thanks for these young women and men of Company C who have earned the title Marine. We give you thanks for the gifts and abilities you have given to each one of them, which they now bring to strengthen our Marine Corps. We give you thanks for the drill instructors, company officers, and battalion leadership who have shaped and molded these young men and women into Marines. We are grateful this day for the families who have supported them every step of their journey. For their mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends, we give you thanks. We ask, O Holy One, that you be with these new Marines as they continue in their training. Keep them safe and bless them. Remind them to be always faithful to their country, to their Corps, to each other, and to themselves, just as you, O Holy One, are always faithful. Bless our nation, bless these new Marines, and God, bless the United States Marine Corps. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. The Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, welcomes you to what is a historical event in the life of a Marine, their graduation from boot camp. Approximately 40 weeks each year for the past 100 years, new Marines have departed San Diego for service with units of the Marine Corps around the globe. To celebrate a century of making Marines, the Commanding General is proud to have in attendance today the drill instructors from the West Coast Drill Instructor Association. The primary mission of the Recruit Depot is to provide basic trainings to recruits enlisted west of the Mississippi, which represents approximately 51% of all applicants in the Marine Corps each year. The depot is also home to Recruiter School and Drill Instructor School. All of our efforts here are geared toward one end, producing America's finest fighting force, the United States Marine Corps. This morning, Company C, 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Recruit Training Regiment will form and march in the parade. Following the pass and review, the graduating Marines will return front and center of the reviewing stand for final dismissal. The staff for today's parade is comprised of Marines from the Recruit Training Regiment. The commander of troops is First Sergeant Alfie L. Sharp Jr., Company First Sergeant, Company C, 1st Recruit Training Battalion. The parade adjutant is Staff Sergeant Enrique Velasquez, Drill Instructor, Headquarters, 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Recruit Training Regiment. The marching units are now being called to attention, and the adjutant's command. Sound, adjutant's call, parade. Marching in today's parade are 563 of the graduating Marines from Company C. Among the 563 Marines are 2 Marines who displayed outstanding performances in 2 individually graded events. Private Nathan Juarez from Platoon 1050 is the company high shooter, scoring a 340 out of 350. Private Brian A. Lancaster from Platoon 1055 is the most physically fit Marine, scoring a 300 out of 300 on the physical fitness test and a 300 out of 300 on the combat fitness test. They will be receiving awards from the Marine Corps Association and Foundation. Present today is the company honor graduates recruiter, Staff Sergeant Stephen Yoakum. Also present today is the primary marksmanship instructor with a platoon high shooting average of 215 out of 250 for Platoon 1050, Sergeant Aaron A. Morales. Recruit training is comprised of subjects required to produce basic Marines who function effectively in garrison, are trained in rudimentary individual field and combat skills, and practice the personal and professional traits which distinguishes them as Marines. Examples of these traits are discipline, the achievement of self-control and self-awareness which assures respect for authority, instant and willing obedience to orders, and the self-reliance to maintain or improve those traits which exemplify a Marine. Military bearing, consistently demonstrating military presence and personal awareness, as well as the proper wearing and maintenance of uniforms. Esprit de corps, acquiring the common spirit of the Marine Corps that inspires enthusiasm, devotion, pride, initiative, teamwork, aggressiveness, determination, moral courage, integrity, camaraderie, and the burning desire to work with and for others towards excellence in common goals. For 247 years, Marines have fought and won whenever and wherever the nation calls, in the harshest conditions, over the most brutal terrain, and against the most formidable enemies. Marines defend the ideals of freedom with grit and tenacity. Although battlefields change and capabilities evolve, history proves that true victory comes from the individual Marine with steeled resolve, the drive to overcome any obstacle, and the warrior spirit to fight on against all odds. It takes that steadfast faithfulness, semper fidelis, to corps, country, and each other that abounds throughout our storied legacy. Marines today remain in combat, forward deployed throughout the world, confronting every challenge with courage, loyalty, and faithfulness. They are resolved to be the most ready when the nation is least ready, to defend freedom anytime and anywhere, to stand ready to aid those devastated by natural disasters, to pay tribute to those who have forged our proud legacy, and to honor the families and loved ones who faithfully stand beside us. For the Marines of Company C, today marks the end of the 13-week recruit training cycle. They have marched countless miles at Camp Pendleton, as well as on this parade deck, and have been trained, as are all Marines, as basic riflemen. In addition, due to an intensive physical training program, their strength and endurance have doubled since their arrival aboard the recruit depot. They are Marines, qualified to take their places in the ranks of the world's finest fighting organization. The platoons are now being aligned from left to right in order to get them into their exact positions for the parade. The next portion of the ceremony will be our national anthem. We welcome veterans and members of the armed forces to join us in rendering appropriate honors with a military salute. For guests who have not served in the military, it is proper etiquette during the national anthem to place their right hands over their hearts, and for those in the audience wearing headgear to remove it. Will the guests please rise for the presentation of the colors? Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. At the command Post the colors. The color guard moves into position within the parade. This signifies that the entirety of the parade has been formed and is ready to be presented to the command. Following the command, parade rest. The parade adjutant will give the command sound off, which signals the band to parade forward of the assembled Marines while playing military marching music. The parade adjutant now presents the assembled command to the commander of troops. At the command, officers center march. All unit commanders and guidon bearers march to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that commanding officers would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit leaders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information along to their Marines. Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. Many who have helped shape our history join us here today. In keeping with the tradition of once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. At this time, those in the audience who have served as Marines, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the battalion commander for 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Roger A. Hollenbeck.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Brigadier General Ryans, and the Regimental Commander, Colonel Rumler, welcome to Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego and the graduation ceremony for Charlie Company. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to today's parade reviewing official, Master Gunnery Sergeant Hairston, Regional Dispersing Chief joining us from 1 Marine Expeditionary Force in Camp Pendleton. Welcome, Master Gunnery Sergeant. Today's ceremony recognizes your new Marine and all they've accomplished in the last 13 weeks. Gathering here as individuals from all corners of the globe and all walks of life, they stepped onto the legendary yellow footprints and into uncertainty. But they dug deep, they trained hard, they came together and stand before you as a confident team of Marines, the best this nation has to offer. Now, this magical transformation didn't happen on its own, and I'd like to thank those who made it possible. The foundation of their character wasn't made here. It was made in your homes, in your schools, and in your communities. So thank you to the parents, families, friends, teachers, and coaches. Your love, your support, and for many, your signature on the contract set conditions vital to their success. So thank you. To our spectacular drill instructors who spent every moment teaching, training, mentoring, and leading these Marines. Their dedication and commitment has left a lasting and positive impact on your Marine who will always remember and appreciate their efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, the officers and drill instructors are able to commit themselves to the business of making Marines because of the love and support of their families, who also join us in the audience today. Please join me in a well-deserved round of applause for the drill instructors and families of Charlie Company. I'd also like to recognize the martial arts, marksmanship, water survival, and academics instructors, our outstanding chaplain, corpsmen, and the entire medical team who've done a tremendous job keeping us physically, mentally, and spiritually strong. And of course, the dedicated recruiter who saw potential in your Marine. In fact, joining us today, representing Weapons Field Training Battalion, is Sergeant Morales, responsible for training the platoon with the highest rifle qualification score. And joining us from RS Seattle is Staff Sergeant Yoakum, responsible for recruiting today's honor graduate. Outstanding work, Marines. Now, please excuse me while I address the Marines one last time as their battalion commander. Good morning, Marines. I mean, you gotta love that. You made it to graduation. You earned the Eagle Globe and Anchor, and you earned the look of pride on your loved one's face across this parade deck. It took you 13 weeks to earn this feeling, and it doesn't stop here. We promised you a challenge, and we will continue to deliver. You must continue to earn the title every day to honor the legacy of those that came before you and blaze a trail for the next wave of warriors. The Marine Corps will be what you make it. So never forget the skills, the spirit, and the values that have been drilled into you, and I can guarantee your success. You represent the Marine Corps now, and you're the future of this great institution. So stand tall, take charge, and when you get home, introduce your buddies to your local recruiter. Congratulations, Marines. Thank you for your hard work and for your dedication to serve this great nation of ours. Take care of each other and cultivate the relationships you've made with your fellow Marine. Welcome to the Corps. Semper Fidelis.
Now taking their position in the reviewing area is today's parade reviewing official, Master Gunnery Sergeant Antonio L. Hairston, Regional Dispersing Chief, Regional Dispersing Office West. He is accompanied by Sergeant Major Oranjo A. Levy, Sergeant Major for Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, and the Western Recruiting Region. Master Gunnery Sergeant Antonio L. Hairston. Master Gunnery Sergeant Hairston enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1998 and attended recruit training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina. Upon completing recruit training, he attended Marine Combat Training and the Dispersing Financial Technician course at Marine Corps Base Camp Johnson, North Carolina, earning his military occupational specialty 3432 Finance Technician. Master Gunnery Sergeant Hairston has served in a variety of challenging billets in numerous commands to include Travel Auditor for Finance Office, Marine Corps Security Forces Battalion, Lead Defense Travel Systems Instructor of National Capital Regional Finance Office, Marine Corps Base, Quantico, Drill Instructor, Senior Drill Instructor, and Battalion Drill Master for 2nd Battalion, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island. Company Gunnery Sergeant of Headquarters and Service Company, 1st Marine Logistics Group Forward, 1st Marine Expeditionary Forward, Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Senior Enlisted Advisor for Resource Fiscal Finance, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Headquarters Marine Corps Programs and Resource. Master Gunnery Sergeant Hairston is currently serving as the Regional Dispersing Chief for 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Regional Dispersing Office West aboard Camp Pendleton, California. Master Gunnery Sergeant Hairston's personal decorations include the Meritorious Service Medal with Gold Star in lieu of 2nd Award, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with 2 Gold Stars in lieu of 3rd Award, the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal with Gold Star in lieu of 2nd Award, and the Afghanistan Campaign Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Master Gunnery Sergeant Antonio L. Hairston.
Report to command and review. Aye, aye, sir.
The passing review is a tradition within all military units, allowing the unit commander to formally inspect the unit under their charge. More than 1 million Marines have been trained here in the past 100 years and have departed San Diego for combat in conflicts around the world, including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication. Names such as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, Busan, Incheon, Chosin Reservoir, Quezon, Way City, Lebanon, Granada, Panama, Kuwait, Somalia, Fallujah, Ramadi, Marja, Sangin, and our most current operations worldwide. This parade deck is rich in history and tradition, and no Marine trained here ever forgets its sights and sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, as the national flag passes directly in front of you, please rise. Once it passes, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Troops, First Sergeant Alfie L. Sharp Jr. and the regimental staff. Marine Man, San Diego, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. Series 1049, Chief Drill Instructor Gunnery Sergeant Dana A. Jackson. Platoon 1049, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Dominic S. Craig. Platoon 1050, Senior Drill Instructor Sergeant Austin A. Ramos. Platoon 1051, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Bach M. Lay. The Regimental Color Guard is led on the march by the Regimental Color Sergeant, Drill Instructor Sergeant Rodolfo Navarrete. Series 1053, Chief Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Alexander M. Cevalles. And Platoon 1053, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Marcus A. Seawood. Platoon 1054, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant John Benedict Oremundo. Platoon 1055, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Jacob T. Smartnick. Ladies and gentlemen, if you turn to page 21 of your graduation pamphlets, you will find the Marines Hymn. The Marines Hymn has a history dating back to 1859 and has a long-standing tradition for Marines to face the direction of the music and stand at attention when it is heard. It is now directed that all Marines present and who have served honorably, and ladies and gentlemen, you're all encouraged to join. Sing the words to the first verse as Marine Band San Diego performs Anchors Away, followed by the Marines Hymn. Will the guests please rise? Thank you. Please be seated. The Marine Corps' uniqueness and strength as an elite fighting force is directly attributable to the magnificent efforts of the drill instructors and company officers who train and supervise the recruits. The distinct qualities of spirit and discipline, the heart and soul of every Marine, have been developed, nurtured, and ingrained in recruits through their observance and relationship with their drill instructors and officers. Recruit training is the very foundation of the Corps. Each year, recruit training provides thousands of America's finest young men and women with the basic knowledge and skills to function in a profession characterized by its own set of high values and tough standards. The most important thing we do in the Marine Corps is make Marines. The individual Marine is the Corps. That is what we do here. For the Marines graduating today, the long, arduous journey of the last 13 weeks is but a small step into the future of the Marine Corps. As they prepare to fill the ranks of our Corps, they do so with unquestionable support for the high ideals and standards of the United States of America and the United States Marine Corps. Although Company C prepares for their final dismissal from boot camp, their initial training is not over. Soon after graduation, they will report to the School of Infantry, Camp Pendleton, California, where they will continue to be trained to serve as an effective member of a Marine Rifle Squad. The intense initial training that every Marine undergoes is designed to instill the fundamental premise that every Marine is a rifleman. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to introduce to you the Marines responsible for ensuring the success of the difficult transition required to become a Marine. The company commander is Captain Brian D. Wyckoff. The company first sergeant is First Sergeant Alfie L. Sharp, Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the company staff of Company C. The next portion of the ceremony will be the traditional function of retiring the guidons. The guidons have been carried by the platoons throughout recruit training and are being retired to symbolize the disbanding of platoons. All similar units in the Marine Corps carry such guidons, which identify the unit and are a source of pride to each individual member. Note that the honor of carrying these guidons is bestowed upon those Marines who displayed outstanding leadership qualities, motivation, and character, and were selected as the platoon honor graduates. The platoon honor graduates compete for the titles of Series and Company Honor Graduate. They are considered the top Marines graduating today and have demonstrated the highest potential for future leadership and responsibility in the Marine Corps. The guidons will now be returned to the drill instructors. The honor graduates will now be presented a plaque by the battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Roger A. Hollenbeck, and the battalion Sergeant Major, Rashad M. Browning. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your applause until all honor graduates have been recognized.
Present arms. Order arms.
The honor graduate for platoon 1049 and the company honor graduate is Lance Corporal Adibasiri Q. Lagi from Linwood, Washington. Lance Corporal Lagi is also the recipient of the Chesty Puller Award for her outstanding meritorious performance while in recruit training. The honor graduate for platoon 1050 is Private First Class Caleb B. Molinar from New Braunfels, Texas. The honor graduate for platoon 1051 is Private First Class Alexander N. Vo from Alvin, Texas. The honor graduate for platoon 1053 is Private First Class Hector M. Bachmadina from Medford, Oregon. The honor graduate for platoon 1054 is Private First Class Christopher A. Coleman from McKinney, Texas. And the honor graduate for platoon 1055 and the series honor graduate is Private First Class Joe D. Calvo from Waco, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the honor graduates of Company C. The company first sergeant will now give the command to the senior drill instructors to dismiss their platoons. Needless to say, this will be the most welcome command they have received throughout recruit training. Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony